Thank you, Chair, and a very good morning. It's a real honor to be here in the Council today as we advance our discussions on the QCPR and as we reflect how to further strengthen the UN development system in support of program countries. And I'd also like to say, it's really been heartening over the last 3 days to hear the full membership support to the resident coordinator system, and we hope that we can continue to build on that. At its core, the QCPR and the UN80 are about delivery, including completing the unfinished business of the 2018 repositioning of the United Nations Development System and translating its commitments into tangible results for people. This is not a theoretical ambition. The Eastern Caribbean, where I live and work in support of 7 member states and 3 overseas territories, really illustrates exactly what is at stake. Small island developing states in our region face a specific and compounding set of realities: high exposure to climate change and external shocks, heavy debt burdens, limited institutional capacity, sensitivity to volatile global markets, and a geographic dispersion that increases both the cost and the complexity of coordination. These are not marginal challenges. They are structural, and they demand a United Nations that is precisely designed for these contexts. Experience from the Eastern Caribbean demonstrates that strong coordination capacity, supported by a distributed national presence, is indispensable for effective delivery, for policy dialogue, and for building partnerships that sustain results over time. The multi-country sustainable development cooperation framework for the English and Dutch-speaking Caribbean is an example of what this looks like in practice. Across 22 countries and territories, the multi-country sustainable development cooperation framework provides a single integrated framework that aligns the full United Nations system behind shared national and regional priorities, including those expressed in the Antigua and Barbuda Agenda for SIDS. In a context defined by small island states and high vulnerability, this coherence is not a luxury, it is essential. And it reflects precisely the direction of this reform, moving from fragmentation to integration and ensuring that cooperation frameworks function as the central strategic instrument guiding all UN development support. In practice, this means countries can access shared policy support on common regional challenges, climate resilience, disaster risk financing, shock-resistant social protection, while still tailoring interventions to their specific national circumstances. So scale and specificity together. However, this does not come without challenges. The cooperation framework's design architecture is sound, but its full potential hasn't yet been realized and does require a change in developing finance incentives from agencies and from member states to make this collective commitment work more effectively. Arguably, central to making this work is the United Nations resident coordinator. In the Eastern Caribbean, as across all of our program countries, resident coordinators serve as conveners across the full development ecosystem, working alongside governments, United Nations entities, international financial institutions, regional organizations, and development partners, chairing internal and external coordination structures that support government-led responses to development and humanitarian challenges. This convening role is what makes coherence real, as it reduces collective fragmentation and duplication. It mobilizes financing, in our case, and particularly for climate resilience, and it enables collective responses to shared challenges that no single country or agency can address alone. As an example, as we have just started on Monday the 2026 Atlantic hurricane season, I co-chair the Caribbean Development Partners Disaster Management Group with the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, which helps drive the Caribbean Regional Response Mechanism in the event of a disaster. UN80 offers a genuine opportunity to strengthen this role further, ensuring that the UN delivers not as a collection of separate entities, but as part of one broader coherent system of development support. But reform only succeeds when it's grounded in country realities. For small island developing states and multi-country contexts, that means three things: tailored configurations that reflect the actual context, strong and sustained coordination capacity at the country level, and resident coordinators' offices that are fully resourced to meet the needs and expectations placed on them. And these expectations are only growing. To meet these, we need predictable, sustained funding, recognition that coordination is a system function, not a peripheral one, and continued active support from member states, both in New York and in capitals. Without strengthened capacity of the resident coordinator, the ambition will suffer and remain a statement of intent. Empowerment does not equate to gatekeeping, but drives coherence in coordination with the United Nations country team, including those non-resident agencies, which we are increasingly viewing as networked and readily accessible rather than non-resident. And I think how we define presence does matter. The cooperation framework gives us a glimpse of what can be possible when the system is aligned, integrated, and genuinely driven by national priorities. That is the standard that the QCPR and the UN80 set for us. Reform only succeeds when it delivers more coherent, responsive, and timely support at country level, grounded in national priorities, focused on people, and capable of deploying the right expertise at the right time. We have the right framework, we have the right experience, and now we need the resolve and the resources to follow through. Thank you.